The inventor of breadsticks, modelled the shape of his savoury biscuit treat on his genitalia.
To Little Bay. I think it was before the all I wanted to do that afternoon was just break down. Like just break down and scream and cry. There was no other noise, word, anything in my head but just the sound of my own screaming.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Intersect Podcast. Today we have Cassie with us. We're playing a game. Stay tuned. I don't know what kind of intro you expect.
You know what? Perfect.
Perfect.
There we go. Beautiful.
Alright, so as Jamie said, we're playing a game. It is called Fucked Up Trivia. So pretty much all it is, it's fact or bullshit. I've got the cards, got questions, bullshit or fact. They got to guess if essentially it's bullshit or fact.
And
It's also Team Intersect versus Team Cassie.
Let's go Team Cassie.
What the fuck?
Yes, thank you.
Yes. Timmy, can you put a little? You got to put a little thing. I mean, you probably know from last episode, but you got to put a little counter up on the top, a little bing bing.
All right, are we ready for the first one?
Let's go.
All right, a common yellow clothing dye is made from shellfish feces.
Was-
I feel like I'm just going to go with fact on that one.
Put yours down.
Well, one
That
doesn't.
is
Oh.
indeed bullshit.
I was.
Seems so out there that
I'm not even
might
gonna lie, I
possibly
didn't even
true.
pick that card. It was just
I thought it was going to be one of these, like, you know how like horseshoe crabs are like blue-blooded and stuff. It's going to be some weird thing like
I
that.
don't.
horseshoe crab.
No one knows your useless knowledge, so
Bro,
you can't
the
just throw it
shit
out
that
there.
this dude's doing is unbelievable. All right,
Just need to know these things.
All right, so we've got nil,
Neil.
nil, 0.
All right. Glitter washing into the sea from Sydney's gay and lesbian Mardi Gras kills on average 600 fish.
600.
I feel like
There's
that's gotta
billions.
be. I'm not saying this because of anything. I just feel like that's true.
Bing.
Yeah, I'm going to go true.
That is bullshit as well.
It's a
You're gonna
thousand.
get us cancelled because you said it.
What do you reckon, Cassie? What was yours?
Oh, he's
I'm safe.
Nah, but what made you choose that? It was a fact and not bullshit.
Because glitter in the ocean would be littering, right? And it's
From
like
a gay
really,
and
really...
lesbian Mardi
Well,
Gras.
not necessarily
Wow,
from
Cassie.
that. Like, it could have been from anything. It could have been from like a kid's birthday party or something.
No, this is the gay and lesbian Mardi Gras.
Can I just ask,
That was
how's
very
glitter going to
specific.
kill a fish?
They could suffocate on it.
There is a lot of glitter that would need to be in a dense, like, part of water.
I'm sure some people have
I'm
suffocated.
buying a goldfish.
All right. Early pregnancy tests involved injecting a woman's urine into a rabbit.
Into a rabbit.
Bullshit. I feel like that's...
I feel like it was something about a frog. I've heard this before.
Bullshit.
Well, yeah, you have the card, not me.
That is a fact.
What? Into a rabbit?
Into a rabbit.
There was one that we actually did last week. Apparently, some women can lactate through their armpits. Milk.
Ew.
Don't even need to
gross.
suck on a titty anymore.
In a pit instead.
Shut I couldn't think of anything worse.
He took off.
That's crook.
Yeah.
That's yuck.
Crazy.
So none of you've got any right yet.
All right, well, let's just keep going until, I don't know.
Fuck, there's only 3 there. All right. Nicolas Cage once did mushrooms with his cat.
It sounds like something that
Yeah.
should be true, but I also feel like something is bullshit.
What do you reckon?
We're going fact.
I'm
It
going
is
bullshit.
Indeed.
A fact. Ding!
He did mushrooms
I know
with
my
his
Nicolas
cat.
With his
Cage.
cat.
Sounds like a good night in.
That sounds fire. All right. 2
Neon
more.
cat.
You got to get both these 2 right, and they've got to get them wrong.
Okay.
All right. One of the world's oldest piece of art is a cave painting of a man having sex with a goat.
I don't think that's right.
True.
Yeah, I
don't-
want to say fact
That
on
is
that one.
indeed true.
It's crazy.
I know my history.
You know your
Oh, come on.
what is it?
Hey, it's the earliest form of porn. I'm all about that.
Hey, what category is that, by the way?
Next one. The inventor of breadsticks, modeled the shape of his savoury biscuit treat on his genitalia.
False.
It's kind of sad if you did.
He modelled it.
Wait, what's a bicky?
Breadstick.
Oh, that's huge.
A baguette.
Wait, yeah. We
That's
talk about
close.
like the little dipping, like.
Breadstick.
Well, what's your little
Oh.
compared to our little? Because
Fucking
my
our little's
little.
about this little.
Well, they're the ones that I'm thinking
That's a
of.
breadcrumb,
They're like-
brother.
But they're like that thin. They're like the size of a
There she
finger.
goes. Oh, they're like that long and like this fat. Are you talking about the
So,
big?
but it's-
Yeah.
The big one.
A baguette.
Baguette.
Okay.
How did
So
we
is
go
that a
onto
breadstick?
breadstick?
What are those?
Isn't
Are
it
you
baguette,
talking about
though?
those little dipping?
Yeah, that's what I'm
I'm
talking
pretty sure
about.
those
Yeah.
are just like little crisps, aren't they? Like little,
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
they're
That's
not
what I'm talking about.
breadsticks.
I call them
We need a
breadsticks.
clear definition, please.
Can you spell that out for us?
Backwards.
No.
He can't read.
Can you repeat the question?
The inventor of breadsticks modelled the shape of his savoury biscuit treat on his genitalia.
The word biscuit's throwing me off
Yeah.
because I know biscuit can also be used as
It must
scone.
be the little. You know how it's like a box of chips, but instead of chips, it's just the breads.
You know, I
Bread
might
bits?
go fact on that one. I'm just going to go out
Where are you going?
wing fact.
Can you just give us a quick size comparison?
Bullshit.
Are we talking this big? I'll go this one. I don't know what it is, but it's
That is in fact bullshit.
Oh! We did get the right one. Yes!
it did.
I was trying to throw. I gave her the answer,
Yeah.
and I was like trying to throw you two off so you guys could draw.
We didn't even. We completely guessed that
Yeah,
one.
we did it.
We did a shuffle mix.
All right, yeah, let's just.
All right. Well, that leaves the little winners of.
Come on, go two more. Two
This-
more. Have fun.
You need double points, is what they always do in the
All right,
game.
double
yeah.
points.
Last
on
one's
next
worth
one.
double.
Double points. One more to go.
Timmy, how many points are we on? Nice.
2-1.
All right.
A woman from Michigan holds the record for the world's longest shit, just shy of 8 meters.
What?
Bro, that.
8 meters!
How does 8 meters even like fit inside of you?
This
Like,
is for double points, fellas.
That's
Wait a
very,
second.
like-
Is this going to be one thing where it's like, oh, it was surgically removed or some bullshit?
Nah,
She laid a
the
log.
world's longest shit,
She laid
just
a
shy of
What?
8
She
meters.
Like-
laid this shit in? A
Brother,
trough?
brother was just walking down the hallway, just dragging this
Brother.
All right, let's
It's
go rock,
skid
paper,
mark. That's
scissors
just a
to
skid.
see who wins.
This is skin.
What are we going to? Oh,
Rock, paper,
okay.
you won.
I won.
Okay, well, you got to pick one.
No, the right way.
I'm going fact while they decide.
I gotta guess. Bullshit.
It is indeed fact.
That's.
That's
Someone
great.
dropped a huge schooner.
I just want to apologize for your asshole, love. I hope you're doing good.
I don't think she's alive, big man.
Wait, what was the year?
Doesn't say.
Oh,
But I'm just saying,
Does
if
that
you
matter?
push that out of your asshole, you're probably not alive anymore.
yeah. True.
All right. Well, on to a more.
Yes, a bit of a serious note. Are you ready?
Yes.
Are the nerves?
A little bit, yeah.
Did it work?
Yeah, definitely.
Perfect.
I like now that you're like, okay, you ready? I'm like,
Shit. I need to lay this 8 meter log.
That's crazy.
nervous poo.
Yeah, sick. All right. Well, where would you like to start? So we're going to dive into Cassie's past and the things that she's done and experienced, and yep, like that. Was it? What was that good? Perfect.
I mean, I gave you the pointers. So where do you want to start? So
Let's
like
go.
a
All right,
timeline kind of thing?
I would like to start off with, first off, we'll go, this is a friend of Blair's. How did you, we'll jump into meeting Blair.
So Blair, that was about a year and a half ago now. We met her, and she was actually dating a friend of mine, or had just started dating a friend of mine. And so that's how we met, and it was kind of like a well, you know, I don't want to be that chick friend that gets in the way of a new relationship or anything like that. And we literally she come down to the pub one day when we were there, and me and her just instantly clicked straight away. Yeah. And then, we just kept on hanging out from there and just got closer and closer and
They're
closer.
the best type of
and
friendships.
then, we definitely bonded over her seizure on Christmas night. But, and then also, like, you know, we both lost our dad and everything like that. So
a bit of trauma bonding going on.
Definitely a bit of trauma bonding. But she's now, like, I call her, she's one of my ride or die girls.
Yeah.
She's the ones that I know I can call, like,
all the time.
Anytime for anything, she'll be there.
So what you kind of just touched on the Christmas seizure thing.
Yeah.
So what happened there?
So it was like a bunch of us friends, you know, we'd done the whole Christmas Day thing with family, whatever. And then Christmas night, we were up at a friend's house, all just drinking and, you know, just having a good time. We had dinner together. And then Blair, this is, I don't know, probably like midnight or something maybe. Blair went and put herself to bed on the couch, and we were all sitting out the back drinking still. And all of a sudden she just like come running, and she just yelled out like to her partner at the time. And straight away I knew, I was like, something's up. And she was like, I need my bag, like get my bag. And she just turned and ran and went back into the lounge room. And it was myself jumped up straight away. And one of the girls we were drinking with, she just so happened to be an ER nurse, which was amazing, very handy. And so we grabbed her bag on the way in, and Blair had already put herself on the floor in the recovery position, and she was already seizing. And so this other lady, the nurse, she grabbed the medication out of Blair's bag straight away and went to give it to her. And because Blair was on her side, so I know that, you know, with a seizure, there's nothing really you can do, like, other than give them that medication if they have it. There's nothing really you can do except for let them come out of it, make sure they don't bump their head or, like, you know, choke or anything like that. So I just kneeled next to her and I grabbed her arm and I clamped her body to my body and put my arm, like, under her head. So I was just holding it so she wasn't, like, rubbing on the ground or anything like that. And, she seized for, like, a good minute or two, I think, and then she come out of it. We had already rung the ambulance, like, we rang straight away. And then so she stopped seizing. She was still unconscious, but she was fine, like, she was breathing on her own and everything like that. And the ambulance was on the way, and then she just stopped breathing, like, out of nowhere. She just stopped breathing. So, we started doing CPR. So I sat at her head, like, I had my hands around her head, and the nurse, she was doing CPR on her. And she ended up coming back around, but it was pretty full on for, like, a good couple of minutes there. The other guys, they, like, come in to see if they could, you know, do anything to help. And they were telling me later that they come in and they could hear this counting, like, and they were like, why are they counting? Like, what's going on? And then they realised that we were counting compressions that we were doing on Blair, and they just turned and ran, like, and which is fine. Like, you can either, you know, deal with that kind of stuff or you can't. I mean,
it's a very confronting sight to see.
Very confronting, yeah.
That, compressions, and then was the ambulance there by that time?
No, not by that stage.
So you were still waiting.
He was still on our own kind of thing. But I was holding Blair's head in my hand, and it was like in the movies when somebody starts breathing again. I'm not going to do it because I'm probably going to choke, but she just took this, like, huge gasp and, like, sat up kind of thing, and then just dropped again. And so she was conscious, semi-conscious again. And the ambos were still on their way. And I just sat, like, with Blair. I was just telling her, I'm like, you know, you're fine. You're all good. You've had a seizure. You're safe. Everyone's here. The ambulance is on the way. There's no need to freak out. Like, you just sit there and talk to her the whole time. And then she stopped breathing again before the ambulance got there. So we did all of that again. And then we got her into the ambulance, and to hospital she went. So I'm pretty sure that was her last big seizure. They're all pretty under control like since then.
She's been fair few, what was it, 18 months? I think. Was it 18 months? 15 months without a seizure?
Yeah.
Like seizure free?
Yeah. So, and yeah, that would be about since then. And it was funny. We went to Valley Grove. I can't remember if it was, no, it must have been after that. We went to Valley Grove. It was her, myself, and one of her other girlfriends. And we were walking up to the main stage. And I was like, stop Blair. I was like, all right, have you got your medication? She's like, yes, it's in here. She got it out, showed me. She's like, if anything happens, this is what you need. I was like, all right, sweet, that's good. And our friend, she's like,
dangerous thing to do at a festival, just pull out medication.
just pull out
People are
drugs.
like,
What do you
Give
got?
me.
Give me.
Yeah. But yeah, so I was like, all right, you got them. You good? We know what to do. And our other friend's like, what? Like, what's going on? Like, what do I need to do? And we were like, okay, your job. I was like, if Blair has a seizure, I'm going to look after her. Your one job, go and get the ambulance.
Yeah,
That's your
go find
one
someone.
job, T. Like, just run and
Yeah.
find them. She's like, okay, I can do that. I was like, I'll look after everything else. It's all good. So now we have like a little game plan.
As you should do, yeah. It's-
And we went camping to Little Bay. I think it was before the maybe it was just after actually. We went camping to Little Bay. And it was
You fuck with.
What happened?
All you hear in the mic is,
This man's kissing his microphone.
oh, that's all I hear in my ear. Just,
I was
Munchies.
I was like,
don't bullshit
Don't
your way
lie.
out of this.
rewind it back.
I
Rewind it back.
watched-
to Little Bay. I think it was before the
I was doing.
I'm so sorry. I couldn't hear a straight face.
Sorry,
No, just look
what
over
were
you.
you talking about?
I was trying to talk through that and all
I
I
know.
can see is you like
I was like, oh.
I could hear him in my ear. I'm like, just stare. And I'm like,
You hear him in your ear staring.
The worst
no,
part,
I hear him in my ear. So I said, stare. I need to stare.
Yeah. The worst part was as soon as I looked back, you went, and I went, oh, fuck.
Yes, sorry.
yeah, we went camping. It must have been after that Christmas seizure. We went up to Little Bay. It was just me and Blair, and we just had like a little girls trip. We're like, yeah, we can do this. Like, we don't need any boys to go camping. And again, we were like, you got your medication? Yeah, it's all good. And where we set up, the toilets were like not far away. And we pulled up, started unpacking, and Blair walks up to the toilet, and from the balcony of the toilet, all I hear is her shout, "There's a defib here if we need it." I was like, sweet, thank you very much.
Yeah, at least I know where it is.
Yeah. So yeah, that
Yeah, right.
definitely-
Did you just get bogged or not?
No, we didn't.
Nice.
I didn't know how to use the tire deflator, but we figured it out. It's fine.
Because you guys don't need no man.
No, we don't.
That's
No.
I'm just saying it. I'm just putting it out
Yeah,
there.
no,
You know
we
what
were
I'm saying?
good actually.
You got anything to say that? You a woman hater? I mean,
The women fucking love him apparently.
all right. Well, let's kind of dive into your story. So there was a fair bit that happened in, I'd say, a short period of time.
Yes.
Like it was over
4
a while,
years?
but
2 or something.
2 years? 4 years.
So basically, if you want to cover it, so it's been 2 years this month since I left my ex-partner, and that was very, very, very big decision, and one I definitely do not regret. It was one that needed to happen, but basically since then there's just been like a roller coaster of emotion and growing and everything going on there.
so that was the first thing that happened.
Yeah. So it was obviously like leaving that. I mean, and like I said, while it was the best decision to make, I mean, for both parties as well, not just myself, it was an adjustment. Like that was a 6-year relationship. I had a beautiful home with him, we had pets, everything like that. And then all of a sudden I was 28 on my own, moving back in with my mum again. I don't have anything to my name but my car. So that was, a big adjustment, as good as it was, getting through that. And I'm still learning now to deal with things that have been left over from that. But yeah, so that's still an adjustment there.
Well, I mean, starting that type of relationship at such a young age, and then going through all your 20s,
Yeah.
kind of being there and having that someone, and then, like you said, like both parties, it's like it's probably about time we,
Yeah.
having to learn to do all those adult things by yourself and, you know, move back in with your parents is probably such a daunting thing to do.
Yeah.
How did you find that? Probably the first few months probably would have been hazy because it would have sucked.
Oh, it was kind of, honestly, the first couple of months were just a relief. It was honestly like, holy shit.
Yeah.
I'm
probably something that built up over so long.
Yeah, it was actually, while it was, you know, I had to go back home to mum with my towel between my legs and start fresh again as an adult. That was hard. But, it was actually really, it was a weight off my shoulders. Even though I was starting from scratch again, it was like, okay, this is fine. Like, we've got time to reset here and just replan and just go again.
Yep.
So how I want to do it now. Because when I started that relationship, I was about 23, roughly, and then 28 when I got out. So there was a lot of growing up happening there.
So from that, what was the thing that happened next?
So, and this was the biggest thing. So that was in the July. I moved back home, and it was, you know, all good for those couple of months, like just living my new single life and getting back on board and everything. And then in November, we got dealt the news. One of the guys that I work with on my work crew, he passed away very suddenly. And so I had worked with him for 5 years at that point. And I didn't have brothers or sisters. Like, I had a half sister, but she was older than me. We never grew up together. We were never close. I never had a brother. So I just kind of made my family. And he was one of those people that I made as my family. He become like my big brother. He was only a year older than me. But he was always there. And he was one of the people that were so happy when I left my ex, like, because everybody at work could see how unhappy I was and how toxic that relationship was. So, he was so happy along with everyone else that was over. And he was just, the most amazing, happy, supportive person you would ever meet. And so he was on holidays. He had taken like 6 blocks off, I think. So I think that it's like 2 months kind of thing. And he was doing a road trip around Australia originally. And his sister went with him. And then he was like still talking to us like every single day, like, you know, still getting reels and messages and TikToks and everything from him, still keeping in contact and sending us photos and whatnot. And I was talking to him the night before, which I think almost all of us were talking to him the night before. And he was in Darwin, and he said that something had come up with his family, didn't go into details, but they were turning around and coming home. And I was like, yeah, no worries. Like, cool, drive safe. We'll see you soon. And so they had left Darwin, and then so we were coming in for work. It was our 3rd night shift. And we all sort of, you know, like meet down the bottom at the locker room and then go up to do handover with the other crew into the plant. And so we'd all got there. We were at the locker room and we got told, we were like, don't go up. You're not going up for handover. And we were like, what? Why? You know, what's going on? Don't know anything, can't tell you anything, but don't go up for handover. And we were like, shit, this is it. Like, redundancies, like, here's our jobs gone. Like, we were just really having a good joke about it all, basically. And then so we were just sitting there, and then all of a sudden from front office we could see our general manager, our superintendent, our HR and our shift boss were walking towards us. And again, we were like, oh, if HR's here, we're definitely losing our jobs. Like, that's what it is. And then we saw our shift boss's face, and he was a mess. And we were like, shit, like, he's snatched it. Like, he's quit or he's been made to leave or something, you know. Why does he look like such a mess? Obviously no clue whatsoever what we were about to get told. And then, they come up to us, and it was the general manager. He told us, and he was like, you know, regret to inform you that one of our members and one of your very dear colleagues has passed away. And so he was in Karratha, him and his sister were in Karratha, and he woke up pretty early that morning, like to start cooking breakfast and get them on the road, and he just dropped and just hit the floor. And they worked on him there and, you know, in the ambulance and got to the hospital before they confirmed that he had passed. Originally they were saying that it was a heart attack, but I have since just checked with his family. They still actually don't have a cause of death, which is, that's unbelievable because we're coming up to 2 years now. But so that was in the November. We found out about that, and that rocked us. Like as a crew, it rocked us because we were a very, very tight crew anyway. Like we were all such good friends. We all hung out like on days off. We didn't hate each other like some workplaces do. And he was like the glue. There was only like 3 of us girls on crew, and the rest are all these, like what I would count as my crazy brothers and uncles and, you know. I was looking at these guys who are in their 30s, 40s and 50s, and they were rocked, like absolutely rocked. And I remember looking at them thinking, these guys protect us. Like, you know, we're on night shift together. If there's something bad or scary happens, they're the ones that protect us. And I was like, how are we supposed to be okay if they're not okay?
Because he was, like you said, he was only a year older than you, so he was very young.
He was 29. He had only just turned 29. I think it was like 10 or 11 days after his birthday that he passed. So very young. And it absolutely rocked us, and it brought us closer. The whole crew. I mean, there's not much positive you can take out of that situation, but the one positive is that we become very, very, very close. So that was in the November, and then it wasn't until February that we actually had his funeral.
So a while.
So 4 months.
Long time, very long time. I think it was because they didn't have an official cause of death, so they wouldn't release like a death certificate, or they wouldn't release any, you know, be super or anything like that. So his family had to basically fundraise to pay for the funeral. So it was a long break, and it's not that you were getting over it by then, not that at all, but you started healing, you know, 3-4 months later, you've started healing, and usually the funeral is that closure kind of thing that you need. And we didn't have that. So it was very open. It was like an open-ended kind of thing happening.
Just left in limbo, essentially.
Yeah, literally, yeah. So then, we eventually got to have his funeral in the February, which ripped the Band-Aid off again. Like, you know, we had to go through all of that emotion and everything again. It was,
There obviously would have been a really, awkward, not really awkward as a sense like I feel awkward, but an awkward stage at work where everyone was a bit like, what do I say to each other?
Yeah.
Like everyone would just be quiet.
It was horrible. Us as a crew, we were fine because we were all in the exact same position. So we knew, like, we didn't have to say, how are you going? Because we all knew that we were absolutely shit. We were all the same. We were all expecting him to walk through the control room door at any minute. Like, it just wasn't real. It was like he was still on holidays, and he's going to be back next block. So us as a crew, we just kind of carried on in a way as much as you can, I guess. And a lot of people down in the front office didn't realise how close we were. Because everyone's like, oh yeah, you get along with your workmates, whatever. But just how close C Crew was and still are. And we lost that bond. Like I said, he was the glue that held everyone together. And you rock up at 5 o'clock in the morning for your first day shift, and everyone feels like dog shit and they're tired, and he just like rolls in with the biggest smile on his face. He's like, "How you going?" Like, just sort of gets everyone going again.
Yeah.
But yeah, losing him, that was a lot, and he meant a lot to me. I know that. Sorry, we can.
How did you find yourself dealing with all that? Because obviously you've expressed how much of a dear friend and colleague and all of that he was to you.
It's
Like, I'll just add on to that same question. What was it like personally and work life? Like, what did it affect it differently, or was it kind of something?
you notice at work, the mood changed at work. For me personally, I know for the first couple of days afterwards, I slept. All I did was sleep. That's it. And I mean for like 15 to 20 hours a day, I slept. And you just, I don't know, you just sort of keep on going. The way I get through it, and it's the same with my dad as well, I think what they would have wanted to do, what they wanted for me as well. So like Wade, he had all these travel plans. He was going traveling, and we often talked about going traveling. And so for me, I'm like, well, he's not going to be able to do those travel plans now. So that's up for me. And I know that he would want me to be happy and like to be living like fully. So that's what I try and do. Like, I just sort of do things now where I'm like, well, especially if it's things that I'm struggling with, I'm like, well, if I can't do it for me, I can at least do it for Wade now. But yeah, and you never, again, same thing. I'll say the same thing with Dad. People say it gets easier. It doesn't get any easier.
Do you still find yourself like sometimes at work still thinking that he's going to walk through those control room
100%.
doors?
Yeah, 100%. We'll just be sitting there and, yeah, you hear the door get kicked open and I'm just like, oh, I wonder if that's Wade. Like, where's he been up to?
You're probably sitting talking to two people that do understand.
Yeah.
You don't have to talk about yours, but we've both lost very close friends.
Yeah.
His is a bit more recent, but mine's been 10 years.
Yeah.
And I still can't fathom.
Yeah.
Like, I played sport with him every day in school. I always went to his house on weekends, and then all of a sudden, bam, he's gone.
Yeah.
You're like,
yeah, it's just such a shock. And I went through a lot of anger on the afternoon that we found out. Like, obviously there was a lot of shock. And I got so angry. I remember I just like stormed out. I went down to the locker room and I just took my helmet off and I just flung it into my locker. And because I was just so angry, because I was like, this is so unfair. Like, he had just turned 29. He was on holiday, so he wasn't stressed out. He was relaxed, like so relaxed. He's pulling up fishing every night and, you know, like just so chilled. He had recently lost like 20, 30 kilos. Like, he was healthy again.
oh, so he started getting to shape and looking after himself.
And he was like, and with him losing his weight, he was getting his confidence. Like, he was getting out there more. He was socializing more, everything like that. And I'm like, how is that is not fair to have, you know, that life just ripped away from you just like that. So yeah, I definitely went through the
Stages of grief.
the stages of grief there. Yeah, for sure. And I remember thinking, because all I wanted to do that afternoon was just break down and scream and cry. And I remember thinking, if we were here for anybody else, like we had lost somebody else and he was here with us, he would have been that person that would have bear hugged you until you stopped crying. Like, he was the one that would have been going around and like patting you on the back and, okay, do you need anything? Like, that was him. But we were there for him. So it's kind of like, well, who's going to look after us now? Because he always looked after us. So yeah, and I remember thinking, actually, this is how much I loved him. The night before he passed, we had just been talking, just sending random reels and shit. And I was just driving the truck and I was just thinking about, you know, my life. And I was like, wonder if I'll ever get married and yada, yada, yada. And I was like, you know, thinking like, I feel like this pretty like a girl thing. Am I ever going to get married? Who are my bridesmaids going to be? And I was like, I'm going to ask Wade to be a bridesmaid. I actually want him to be a bridesmaid. And I was like, should I tell him now or I'll wait until it actually happens, and then it'll be a nice surprise for him then.
Just
And I was
in
like,
case I don't get married.
yeah. I was like, no, I'll wait to surprise him later. And I was like, I just got so happy about it. I was like, I could tell this man to wear like hot pink frilly sparkles, and he absolutely would have. He wouldn't have argued. He would have been like, yeah, this is for you on your special day. Like,
No, that's awesome.
yeah, he was just absolute life. And he was the one that made the rule for our crew. Whenever we go out and have like work function drinks, like even if it's just going to the pub for lunch, Hawaiian shirts. We wear
Fine.
Good idea.
Hawaiian shirts.
That's an awesome idea.
And it become a rule very quickly. If we agree we're wearing Hawaiian shirts, and if you don't wear a Hawaiian shirt, you get charged a carton.
Oh,
'Cause
that's
it's
awesome.
one
Fair.
all in.
That's respectful.
Yeah. And we were there one day, and you know, everybody just wore the Hawaiian shirts. But you know how at JJ's, how they have the matching like shirts, shorts,
Pants,
socks, the whole lot. We were sitting at the front of the Freo one day, and everyone's like, oh, you know, where's Wade? He should be here soon. Rolls around the corner in a flamingo Hawaiian shirt, matching shorts, socks, and hat. And
That's
he
awesome.
just strutted in. Like, he was on a catwalk. He owned it. Like, this is at like 10 o'clock on a Tuesday morning or something. We're out the front of the Freo. And he just strolls in wearing this, and it was the funniest thing ever. Like, he did not give a single fuck what
That would have been an
anybody
eventful
was.
day.
Oh, they
Dressed
always
like
are.
that, 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah. At the front of the Frio in Jero. Oh.
Yeah, like if you ever drove past Freo, like around 10, anywhere between 10 and like 2 o'clock on a Monday or a Tuesday, and there's like 15 people in Hawaiian shirts,
Yeah.
being an absolute nuisance, that was sus.
And then when we spoke to you last week, you said that very shortly after something else happened.
Yes.
Do you care to?
Of course. Well, a couple of things happened. But the main one after that, so we had Wade's funeral in February.
Yep.
And then it was in the April on Anzac Day. My dad passed away
On Anzac Day.
on Anzac Day. Yeah, which is actually beautiful because me and Dad, we went to the dawn service every year. Anzac Day was mine and Dad's thing. I remember when I was little getting dragged out of bed, you know, it was still freezing cold, getting rugged up, and me and Dad would go down and watch the dawn service. So yeah, Dad was sick. Couple years prior, he was diagnosed with bowel cancer. But he got quite lucky there. They just went in and removed the mass, and it hadn't spread anywhere. He didn't need chemo, like nothing. He actually got out of it really, really lucky. And then it was only because of that, he was having regular testing, that they actually found his next lot of cancer. So he had multiple myeloma, which is blood cancer.
All right.
And with that, there is no cure for it. There is only treatment. And they said to him that 50% of people that get diagnosed with it, they only last about 5 years. So it was a pretty grim.
Yeah, it's
Reality.
essentially just
From the
given a
start.
death sentence.
Yeah, exactly. Death sentence from the start. So yeah, we knew we had limited time with him. And it was, by the time he did pass away, it was coming close to that 5 years. So he started treatment. His first lot of treatment was they removed a whole heap of healthy stem cells from his body and like froze them, I guess. And then they nuked his body with chemo. Like it was one bag. He had to be in Perth for it. And it was it was a bomb that went off in his body, basically. And then once he started recovering from that, they put all these healthy stem cells back in just to help with all the recovering. But he was in hospital down there for about 3 weeks with that. And I went down to see him, and he was like, his hair, like it's always been short, like thinning on top, and he's always had a goatee. Like my whole life, I've never seen him without this goatee. And I was sitting there chatting to him, and he's just like rubbing his chin like he does while he's talking, and I was just watching, and the hair was just
Just
falling
coming out, yeah.
And then he saw it and he got really angry, like just brushed it off the table. And because Dad, no emotion. There's no emotion.
Macho man.
Yeah.
Sounds like someone next to me.
That's how I was raised, and that's how my whole dad's side of the family is like. My aunties like it as well. We don't show emotion. Like, we don't cry. We don't anything. And so that was Dad's response. Obviously, that would have scared him, seeing his hair come out. So he just gets angry. But then, so that was his first lot of treatment. And then after that, he was getting weekly, very small doses of chemo, and then other, vitamins and shit, I guess, as well.
Yeah.
And so that treatment was working for like a good year, actually. He was doing well, like those cancerous cells were coming down. And it was looking really good, but then it got to a point where the side effects of the treatment were getting so bad he couldn't live with them. So he moved on to another treatment, but there had to be a break in between this treatment and that treatment. So in that break, they were still testing. Cancer cells started coming back up again.
Yeah.
So then we started this other treatment. I say he started the other treatment. They'd come back down again. It was all looking really good, looking really promising. And then again, side effects were too bad that he couldn't live with them. By that point, he was having a lot of time off work.
What did your dad do was he FIFO as well, or?
He was FIFO. He wasn't on the mines. He worked for CSIRO. Yeah, and he wasn't a Sparky, but he was an electronics tech.
Smart man.
Yeah, he was very smart.
Very smart.
He did wiry stuff. He probably could have been a Sparky, I guess.
He certainly could have. Those electro techs are probably above Sparkies.
Oh, yeah, like he used to send me photos of like what he was doing, and it was just cabinets full of shit and I don't know what. But he used to work on all of the satellite dishes and stuff out there. Yeah, that's what he did all the time. So he was FIFO out there because that was on site. So he'd fly out Monday, come home Friday. So yeah, he did that. And by that point, so after the chemo dose, that first big one, that actually like damaged his nerve endings, like from his waist down, which wasn't too bad anywhere else, but where it was causing the problems was his feet. Like he was in so much pain constantly, he couldn't even walk around the house without socks and shoes on. And I remember saying to him once, like he was just bitching about how much pain he was in and, I wish I never got the chemo, like, can't stand this pain. I was like, yeah, well, Dad, you could be dead.
To be fair, though, I won't lie to you. My mate that passed died from cancer.
Yeah.
At 16.
Yeah.
So seeing that, if I ever get cancer, you're going to watch me die without chemo. I would refuse to get it.
Yeah, no,
100% refuse.
I've made a similar decision based off of what I've watched Dad go
Just
through.
because of the side effects of it all, to me, seems crazy for the chance that you're going to get.
Yeah.
Even if you get that life, you're probably still going to be suffering a lot.
So that's where I've made a similar decision. Watching Dad go through it, in his exact case, it's literally a death sentence. You're not going to survive it. There is only treatment to help get you through. He couldn't travel. Like the most that they could do was hook the caravan up and go away for the weekend.
And I'm guessing he loved
his caravanning. Yeah, loved being outside, camping, doing everything like that, and he couldn't enjoy it anymore.
Yeah.
And yeah, so he literally stopped living. He was in pain constantly. He was feeling sick constantly because the chemo would knock him on his ass for the weekend, and then by the time he's starting to feel better again, it's time for your next dose. So he went through that for a couple of years. But yeah, I said to him this one day, because he was always like so negative and stuff, bitching about like, and I mean, I can understand.
Yeah.
You'd be getting frustrated and it would be painful. And I was like, yeah, well, Dad, you could be dead. Like you could have died a couple of years ago now. And he was like, yep, true. Fair enough. He said, there's other people out here that have it worse than me. So anyway, yeah, that went on for a couple of years. And then it was actually his birthday. And I had just woken up like in the morning, and I messaged him and I was like, happy birthday, Dad. Do you want to go get lunch today for your birthday? Like, I'm not working. And a little while later, his partner replied, and she was like, Cassie, Dad's in hospital. You need to come and see him. And I was like, okay, no worries. I'll just get ready and I'll be in shortly. And I hadn't written out his birthday card yet at that point, so I wrote it out. And I remember while I was writing it, I was like, this is the last card I'm ever going to write him. Like, this is a goodbye letter. Like, I just had that feeling. I was like, this is the last one. And so, yeah, I wrote the card out and went down to regional, and he was in there, and he was hooked up to every single possible machine you can think of. And he was quite a fit man, like, he was 6 foot tall, like quite in shape for a 60-something-year-old guy. And he had doubled in size. Like, I think because they had so many like fluids and stuff being pumped into him, he was so swollen. Like, his body was just not happy at all. And so what had actually happened was over the weekend, he was actually doing really, really good because they had taken him off all of his like steroids, like chemo, everything, because they were about to start doing like drug trials. Like, that was the last option they had.
Like the untried stuff.
Yeah. So he was actually feeling really, really good. And then all of a sudden he just started going downhill over the weekend. Like, couldn't get out of bed. Like, he was exhausted, just felt like shit. And then Monday morning they ended up ringing the ambulance for him, and apparently he collapsed 3 times just getting from the bed, like his bed, onto the ambulance stretcher. He was just that weak. So, yeah, they got him into hospital, and then by the time I got there, the plan was to put him on Royal Flying Doctors and send him straight down to Perth to Charlie's, because that's where he was getting all of his other cancer treatment from.
Sorry, so all this was happening in town here? Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought this whole time you were down in Perth dealing with
No, not yet.
Right.
Yeah, so the plan was to put him on the plane, send him down to Perth. So I just, spent a bit of time there with him, chatting away. But we're like waiting for the plane to get there. And I remember like there was one part I was sort of standing next to him, and I was holding his hand. And for us, that's huge. Like, no affection, there's, no emotion, nothing. So for me and Dad to be holding hands, that was like, he was terrified. And I only really like kind of remember it because he was holding my hand and he was like running his like thumb across my knuckles like that. And to me, I was like, man, I got some bony ass hands. Like, I was like, can he feel how bony that is? Like, am I too skinny? Like, I was just random thoughts. And so, yeah, we were just chatting with him for a little while. And this was one thing that we knew he wasn't well. Dad's not a kid person. Never has been. He gets very frustrated with kids. He's very much like the grumpy old man.
Yeah.
And anyway, we were sitting there in this hospital bay and this poor little kid had come in and they positioned him right outside Dad's bay, and he'd just broken his arm. So this kid was screaming the roof down. And the nurses come in, they're like, oh, we're really sorry, Hayden, like, we're going to get him moved as soon as possible, like away from you. And he was like, no, don't worry about the poor little thing. Like, obviously he's in a fair bit of pain. And me and my stepmom just looked at each other. We were like,
who is this man?
Shit.
Did
Yeah.
we get the wrong one down to Perth?
Yeah, literally, like, we were like, oh my God. So, yeah, hanging out in regional hospital. And then Dad said to me, and he was like, you can go if you want, chick. Like, we're just waiting for the plane to arrive. It was probably about half an hour away. He's like, you can go, chick. Like, you don't need to stay here any longer. And I was like, okay, no worries. And I remember, like, by that point I was getting quite upset, but I've never seen my dad cry in my life. Pretty rare that he's seen me cry. It's all very much like, we're very tough around here. And so I was like, yeah, all right, no worries. And I remember I like hugged him as best as I could because he was lying down. Obviously, you know, he had needles sticking in and out of everywhere. So he couldn't actually hug me back. So I just like hugged him as best I could. And I just gave him a kiss on the cheek. I was like, I love you, Dad. I'll see you later. And as I pulled back, I remember he was looking the other way. Like he couldn't actually even look at me. And I remember hearing this noise and I'll never forget it. And I can only describe it as he was choking back tears. Like he couldn't say anything else. Like that was it. It was just this one noise. And I was like, I love you. I'll see you later. And walked out. By the time I had passed like the curtains, I had only just made it and I just started bawling my eyes out. And then so anyway, that was the Monday. He got sent down to Perth that afternoon. Tuesday, we didn't hear anything from him, so we were like, no news is good news. Like he's, you know, where he needs to be. Later, we found out that Tuesday, like he was actually sitting up in bed. He was eating lunch. He was telling everybody about like his camping trips and everything. Like he was getting better. Like he seemed to be doing a lot better.
Yeah.
And then it was Wednesday morning. I had gone back to work. It was my first day back. And it was like 9-10 o'clock in the morning or something like that. I got the call from my stepmom and she's like, you need to get down to Perth now. She said, your dad's had a heart attack. And she's like, he did come back, but he's in a coma. So you need to get down here now. And I was like, yep, all right. So got home, told my mum, because my mum and my dad, they split when I was young, but they stayed very, very close friends. So mum was like, I'm coming with you. And then my auntie rang me and she's like, I'm coming with you too. I was like, all right, no worries. Loaded everyone in the car. And so we were down in Perth by like 4 o'clock or something, that arvo, if not a little bit earlier. And I remember talking to Blair about it actually. And I said, you know, he's in a coma. I'm going to see him. And she was like, just be aware of what you're walking into. By that point, so because Dad was in a coma, he was on a ventilator. So he's, you know, had the tube in breathing for him. He was on dialysis because his kidneys were failing. And he had a drip in every single possible vein that they could find. He was hooked up to every single monitor possible. Like there was literally 20 screens like behind his head, all monitoring everything.
So can I ask you something about that ventilator, the one they shoved down their throat? Did he also have those gurgles? Because like, you know how, I don't know if any one of you have been in hospital when someone's busy like passing away and they have that. They call it a gurgler.
Oh,
That's
so like you can actually
some people
hear
have a
gurgling.
nickname. Yeah, it's
Okay.
not just hear it. It's like someone snoring.
Oh, no, he didn't have that. It was very peaceful.
That's probably
It was a
way
good
better.
thing. Yeah. No, it was very peaceful.
Was
yeah.
that very like, even though Blair semi told you about it, was it still like just as much as the shock?
Yeah, still very very confronting seeing it. And everything's just like beeping away and, you know, there's lines doing this and his heart rate and this and that. There was like a nurse in there constantly and just a lot going on.
Do you reckon it hit you a lot harder? Because as you're saying, in your family, it's very macho man, very tough, very we don't show feelings. And because you probably would have had your dad up on a very high pedestal.
Very high pedestal.
So to see someone so great
Strong,
in your eyes, like such a, like the rock of the family, and then seeing him crumble from something that you can't even see.
Yeah, it rocked me. Like I know even when I saw him in regional hospital, and then obviously it was worse when we got to Perth and he was in a coma, I looked at him and I was like, that's not my dad. Like that is not my dad. Like Dad is this, like, even though he had a silent killer in his body, Dad was like this fit, healthy, strong, like, you know, built like a brick shit house, man. Like, you know, he was amazing. And then just bang. Yeah. Like he had doubled in size. His skin was quite grey and pale and like really clammy. And even things like this is the sort of stuff that nobody can warn you about. because he was on the ventilator, obviously he had the tube in his throat and he had the thing, going across his face, holding it in place. Because his mouth was open, his tongue was exposed to so much air. So his tongue had swollen up and he actually had like this big sore on his tongue. Just stuff like that. I was like, I never expected to see that. So they come in every day. Like the nurses were beautiful. They'd come in and, give him a wipe over and put Vaseline and stuff on the sores and whatnot. And like the nurse we had on the day he passed, she was beautiful. Like she'd come in and she's chatting away.
Oh, so this was kind of like the
lead up.
This
is the lead up to it.
Oh,
yeah.
right. Okay, because I remember you saying that it was all very sudden.
It was, yeah.
So
3 days.
yeah, that is pretty cool.
Yeah, so he went down the Monday. Tuesday he was fine. Wednesday morning, we got the call. He had a heart attack early hours Wednesday morning.
Yeah.
We got there Wednesday afternoon. Sat with him for a couple of hours, weren't booked into a hotel, didn't hear anything all night. And then we went back to the hospital at about 11 o'clock, I think, the next day. And I was like, you know what? Like, I'm going to start playing some music for him today. I was like, I'm going to put on Susie Q, because Dad loved Susie Q. Like, if that was playing when I was little, that meant Mum and Dad were getting on the piss. Loved it. And Tanya Koenigan, he was a bit of a Tanya Koenigan, he was in love with her, basically. And so, I had my time with him in the morning and I just sat there and I was playing all of his old favourite songs and stuff for him and just chatting away to him. And then my stepmom come in and she was sitting in there for a little bit and then the doctors come in. And he was like, we've just gotten all of Hayden's test results back from this morning. And he said the only reason why all these numbers look good right now is because of everything we're pumping into him.
Yeah. So he was essentially, was he still in a coma at this time?
Yeah, still in a
coma. So he was
coma.
essentially
Running on life support.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was on life support basically. Yeah. It wasn't a flick the switch kind of life support situation. But it was life support. He wasn't surviving on his own.
Yeah.
And so what killed him was that he had sepsis. He had caught it from somewhere over the weekend and it just ran through his body.
Because his immune system's obviously shot to bits already.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah.
The doctor said he was like, this infection has nuked his internal organs. He would need multiple new organs, but because of his cancer, he wouldn't be able to receive any organ donations. He wouldn't even be accepted onto the list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and they just said, all of these medications and machines are what's keeping him alive right now. And they're like, you need to let him go. And they were like, all that's going to happen is we will lighten his sedation, up his pain meds, and then we'll stop everything else that's being pumped into him.
Yeah.
And eventually he will just go on his own. They were like, it usually takes about an hour.
That's a long hour.
He took longer than an hour.
Hey, battler.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, well and truly. So the doctors are like, get your family in. It doesn't have to be today. They were like, we can keep him going until your family comes in whenever. So at that point, it was myself, my stepmom, my mum, my auntie, my half-sister and her husband. So we all come into the room. The doctors and nurses did all of their bits and they were like, just wait now. And it was actually so funny. The nurse, she was beautiful. She walked in and she was like, would Hayden like to see a priest before he goes?
Oh, no.
We cracked up laughing and this poor nurse, she was like, just looked stunned and we were like, no, do you want this place to burn down? He's the last religious person ever. He does not want to see a priest. We're like, thank you, but no. She's like, okay, yep, no worries. And so, we just sat there we were just talking over him and still had the music playing. And the nurse had actually turned the big monitor away, but there was actually a smaller one on the back side of it that still had his heart rate on it. And I could see that from where I was sitting. Like everybody else was on that side of the room and it was just me here. And so I was watching his heart rate. I was
Just
watching it
slowly
slow
go down.
down.
Yeah.
And I didn't tell anybody else that I could see it. And it had been about an hour and the same nurse comes back in and she goes, he is going. She said, but he's being very stubborn.
Yeah.
And we were like, you have no idea with who you're dealing with right now. Like, he's not going to go easy. So, yeah, it ended up taking about 2 hours, I think, just over 2 hours for him to go.
He's like, I'll show you. You're not getting me out of this bed yet.
Oh, yeah, he was fighting for sure. And that was just another way that made me proud. Like, that, that's my dad kind of thing, like fighting absolutely until the end. And, yeah, we were just sitting there chatting away. And I was watching his heart rate and it was, originally it was like 130 or something like that, coming down. And it got to like sort of around 50 and I was like, okay, it's not long now. And my stepmom goes, oh, can you please play Home Among the Gum Trees?
Fine.
Because that was one of Dad's favourite songs. And I was like, yeah, absolutely. Put that song on. This man, so his heart rate was about 50. And it was slowing down again, like got down to about 40. But sort of like from halfway through the song, his heart rate went from 40, jumped back up to 80.
I'm just
hung
saying,
there
but the
for a
only
little
reason that made it to 2 hours, they're pumping all the
music, boy.
Yeah, keeping it
He's
going.
next minute he's out of the bed, jumping up and
Yeah.
down.
I mean, we were hoping for it, for sure. But yeah, his heart rate jumped up to 80 and then it come back down to like 50 and then it jumped back up to about 70.
So that's a good little memory. Like,
Yeah.
even in the darkness of it all, that would have been really nice to like
It
just
was. It
see
was
that he's
actually
still
amazing.
reacting to such
Yeah. And then it was like come back down to like 40, back up again a little bit to like 50. Then it sort of just hovered at like 40. Within 5 seconds of that song finishing, his heart stopped.
shit, eh?
It was like the most
Peaceful goodbye almost.
but amazing. Yeah, it was actually really amazing to see that. So the day before his funeral, actually, my stepmom decided that she was going to do a viewing. So it was just for other close family members and his best friends who didn't get to see him. I took my mum there and I already knew that I wasn't going in. Like, I did not want to see him.
Yeah.
And my mum was like, come on, Cass, like, you know, do you want to go? And I snapped at her, apologised later, but I was like, I am not going in there.
Yeah.
I already have this memory of Dad in a hospital bed. That was not my dad. This is the last thing I need to see right now is like seeing him in a box. But anyway, I was like, yeah, I'll be there for my mum and the rest of my family as well. And then we had his funeral and I think it was the night of the funeral or the second night after. I had this dream and everybody has different beliefs on dreams and everything, but I firmly believe this was Dad saying goodbye. So in the dream, we were standing out the front of the funeral home, like we were there like for the viewing, and I was talking to somebody and I looked up and I could see my dad just kind of standing there in front of the building. And I remember saying to whoever I was talking to, I was like, can you just give me a minute? Like, my dad's here. I'm just going to go over and say hello to him. And Dad was standing there waving at me and I was waving and I was walking towards Dad. And then in the dream, I realised, I was like, why is he not walking towards me? Like, why is he just standing still? And then in the dream, it was like, because he's dead, because he's not here anymore. But in the dream, I was looking at him and he was just standing there, like, just waving at me.
Yeah.
And I was like, I never, ever, ever forgotten that. Like, to this day, I'm like, yeah, that was Dad saying goodbye, I think.
With obviously having two close funerals and everyone passing away, was the fact like how you said goodbye to your dad and how it all went and then like the goodbye and the dream essentially, did that make it easier? Do you reckon to move through this process of
No, nothing made it easier.
nothing?
No, nothing at all. For me, I just, I mean, for a while there, I tried not to think about it, to deal with it, to feel with it. Like, I didn't spiral by any means. It was just, I just pushed those thoughts out of my mind.
Yeah, so obviously there was no quick fix. You had to kind of deal with those feelings because it's not something that you can just kind of shove away.
No.
When did you reach a point where you were like, okay, I need to pull my finger out somewhat and get back to...
So after Dad passed, you know, my crying, my meltdown, they were sort of, to start with, they were like every day, every second day kind of thing.
Yeah.
And when I would do that, nobody saw me do that. My mum didn't see me do that. That was at night time when I went to bed, I shut the door, I turned the lights off, and I would cry quietly. Nobody saw that. Nobody heard it. And I still carried on doing that. But my meltdowns, my crying episodes, they went from every day, every second day, and then they eventually went to like once a week. I'd have a little bit of a moment, and then it just got longer again and sort of like maybe once a month or something like that. And then it's sort of just, I don't know, it's like I'm very much a facts person. So to me, I look at Dad and Wade and I'm like, yes, they're dead. That is a part of life. Yeah. Everybody is going to die around you. Everybody. There is no ifs, buts, or whatever. Like, unless vampires all of a sudden become real, we're all going to die. And that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
But then, and that's how I look at it. But then all of a sudden I'll just get like smacked with these thoughts when I'm thinking of Dad, or I see a photo of Wade and I'm like, what do you mean I'm never going to see them again? Like,
that hope.
Yeah, I'm just like, because like I said, you know, Wade's still on holidays. We're just waiting for him to come back next.
Those photos, I know exactly when you look at them, and in your mind that memory is still there.
Yeah.
So in your head,
and it
that
always
photo
will be.
comes back to life, and you're like,
yeah, exactly.
this
Like
person is not here.
I can still hear Wade's voice. I can still hear my dad's voice. I can still feel the hug every single time we see each other. I can still hear him being like, love you, chick. I can still hear him like telling me off when he's like disappointed at me for something. But yeah, and then you just get hit like all of a sudden. One
question I've got, because you've obviously gone through it now, and each person has their own story, but what advice would you give to
you before you went through it, essentially?
Yeah. Like if there was some way you could have known, what's one thing you wish?
Strong. It's okay.
Fire.
That is a really good one.
Yeah, it's because lately I've been going through what's the word? Regret? Is regret part of the grief? I feel like it is, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I think
that's what I've been feeling anyway. Like with certain moments with Dad, like while he was getting his weekly treatment, I never went to any of his treatments with him. And I regret that I didn't do that. I feel like that's something I could have done better as a daughter. I could have been there with him more. Knowing him, he would have been like, nah, I'm fine. You don't need to be here. But I wish that I was there. And another thing that I regret with that is, like I said, how, you know, there's no emotion there. When I was saying goodbye to Dad at Regional Hospital, and I was holding back my tears. I was trying to be strong. I'm like, yeah, you know, I'm not scared. Like, you don't need to see my emotion. I wish I had have just let him see it, that I was terrified. Because I hope that it wasn't a last kind of, and this might sound absolutely stupid, but I hope that it didn't come across like I didn't care enough.
I'm sure he wouldn't. And regret is a massive thing in anything, because you're like, oh, I wish I was there that little bit more. I wish I had that serious conversation. I wish I spoke to his family more. Like, not in that instance, but other instances for people that's lost people. And those people, if they were alive, they'll be like, you're a fuckwit.
Oh, yeah, they'd be like, you're a
don't be
dickhead.
stupid.
Shut up.
I loved
Yeah.
you now. I loved you then.
Yeah.
I'll whatever.
Absolutely.
And that's the crazy part. Our brains, when stuff like that happens, our worst enemy, essentially.
No, I'd definitely say like, yeah, it's okay not to be so strong. Like, and 100% just go through it. Go through every single like emotion, the pain, the everything. Basically,
That's how you deal with it, essentially.
Yeah, it's gonna come anyway. Like I know one of the rawest parts for me when it happened was when I was sitting in the room with Dad and I had my hand on his arm, and by then our other family members were coming in, so I was like right like at the peak of processing that he's about to die. And I screamed, like not out loud. And the only reason why I know that it wasn't out loud is because nobody else in the room was reacting. But in my ears, I screamed like blue murder. Like that was nothing but pure pain. There was no other noise, word, anything in my head but just the sound of my own screaming. And it's like, but that's also, I feel like a part of it, the healing. Like there's that nothing but absolute pain that you have to go through, I think, because it doesn't get any better. It doesn't get any easier to deal with whatsoever. You just learn to keep on moving. And
Yeah.
You just learn
You
to
learn to
keep on
work
living.
through it.
Yeah, exactly right. And some days I do have bad days. Like some days I can't get out of bed. And it's not like, you know, it's not as if I'm just sitting there crying and reminiscing or anything like that. It's just that some days I'm like, the outside world is too much right now.
Yeah.
And then other days I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, let's go. Like, you know, nail everything. And
Yeah, it's a beautiful way to put it. Yeah, like you don't have to be strong every day. You know,
Nah.
you're allowed to have your days off and
Yeah.
take a break
yeah.
to deal with things and process.
And that was one thing. I think I started saying it before. I'm not sure. Like my new partner, and he actually, we kind of work really well because we're both like no emotion, no tears. And it was a hard decision for me to make for Dad's anniversary, whether I wanted him there or not. And I was very open with him about that. I said, it's going to be a big morning. I don't know if I'm ready to have you see that yet or not. And he was like, look, if you want me there, I'll be there. If you don't want me there, I respect that. Yeah, he was absolutely amazing through it. And I said, all I want to do, I said, I don't want to go down to the dawn service because I'm going to be way too emotional to be around that many people. So I was like, I just want to listen to the dawn service on the radio and watch the sunrise. That's all I want to do. And we did that. And I cried and I cried and I cried and I just let everything out. And that was actually a big turning point. Like, I mean, I guess in a way for our relationship, but mainly for my healing there. And my psychologist actually said it as well. She's like, letting somebody see you like that is huge. Like that's a part of your
Healing.
Yeah.
Essentially,
Healing, I guess. Yeah.
As we finish off, we ask all our guests, what are 5 things you do to improve your mood? Like just anything. Could be anything. There's no limits or anything. But just
Before we say this, we've had someone sit there and say,
so there was some horrendous things. We'll get into that once you answer yours.
we'll hear yours and then we'll tell you some of the others that we've heard.
I know. I feel like mine are going to be pretty like
Well, this mean it can be anything.
standard. I mean, exercising definitely.
Yep.
And it's, you know, I love going to CrossFit and I love going to the gym, but even sometimes when that's just too hard and it's okay to acknowledge that that's too hard, I just go for a walk.
Yeah.
I'm loving walking.
That's plenty
lately.
enough, huh?
Yeah. So yeah, definitely exercise is a big one. I find reading my book as well, actually.
No.
Knowledge.
Oh no, it's smart. It's pure smart.
Well, reading's reading.
Smart. Crazy.
Absolute smart.
Well, I'm going to start using that word.
What?
Smart.
Because have quite like a fair bit of anxiety as well. And I find that social media doesn't help. I mean, don't get me wrong, I doom scroll.
It is horrendous.
It is so bad. And I find that you have millions of other people giving their 2 cents on everything.
we
They have
have-
an opinion on everything. And then you're like, oh, should I think like that?
Yeah.
Should I be thinking that too? That hasn't happened to me yet. Should that have happened to me? So I do my best especially when I am in those anxious states, phone down, pick up the book. Like it doesn't have to be any sort of self-help book or anything. Like I literally read Fairy Smut. Like just it takes me away from any other
So
bullshit.
exercise, reading.
Yeah.
What's your next one?
I love going to the beach. Like I'm a big beach person. Not right now when
Same
it's
as Blair.
fucking freezing. But I'm a beach person. Like in summer, I'm at the beach every single day.
That's awesome.
And I find I feel really reset.
All right. Two more.
Actually, going for a drive and just listening to music, honestly. My music taste is
Fucking whack. It can be
wide.
anything.
Yeah, very wide. Like I'm stuck in the 2010s, like old school R&B, hip hop kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
That's me. Like I never got out of that stage, so I range from that right through to country music. I love my country music.
Jackie hates it.
Really?
This is out in me. Calm down, right?
No, I love my country music. Like sometimes I'll put it on when I'm going for a walk.
Yeah.
Or other times if I'm just going for a bit of a drive. And I don't know, country music is just my chill,
Yeah.
just my happy
It's that little
space.
quieter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if it's like party country, it still
Yeah. All right. Number 5.
makes sense as soon as it hit my head. Chai latte.
Iced or not iced?
Not ice. Just a chai latte, a warm chai latte. It genuinely like makes my soul happy.
Fair.
That's very good. Anything else,
beautiful.
Jamie? You want to do the outro with the email?
Oh, do you want to give it a go?
No,
I don't think you've ever done it.
I can't do it. I don't even know how it goes.
That's a shame. Well, thank you for coming on. Thank you for sharing your story and everything. We appreciate it. So does everyone else. Sorry about the mix-up. This is not staff now, but we apologise for all this and the chop change angles. But yeah, if anyone wants to send anything in, they can send it into our Instagram. What's the Instagram? Come on.
Intersect Pod at 24
No,
hours.
Instagram. Oh, Instagram.
Are
You
you
can
trying
see
to
it.
like read it above your head or something?
No,
You're
just do like
He doesn't know. Yes, we can send us an email if you want to come on or sort some stuff out at intersect.pod24@hotmail.com. Beautiful. Good work.
Well done.
Dap me up, stat.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Thank you for being on.
Thank you guys.
And I'll do the end of it. Peace.